Hey everybody, it's time for the second month of the Builder's Report for Fairfield County. Remember, two rules apply for the data that I'm going to show you. Number one, it excludes Greenwich as a town. And number two, all of the data is over a 12-month period. That's to take away seasonality and also the fact that a lot of our data on new builds is a little sparse. So that gives us a large enough sample size to draw conclusions from. All right, so without further ado, let's dive in. Okay, so just like last month, you can see that what we're building, we're starting to eat in some more into that 3-bedroom. That 2-bedroom is cannibalizing a lot of our 3-bedroom business. This is builds, so this is what we're choosing to build, and we're choosing to build more 2-bedrooms than 3-bedrooms. In fact, we've built about 3 a month, 38 over the last 12 months. 3-month 2-bedrooms, and we've only built, well, about 2 a month 3-beds. Our 4-bedrooms have stayed very, very solid. They represent about 39% of our inventory that we build. If I jump back to November of last year, guess what? 39% as well. So rock solid. That's our bread and butter. The only other interesting thing to note is that our super large homes, we've actually built 10 of them outside of Greenwich over the last 12 months. And when I say built, there are possibly more than that being built. Remember, this is just what's been introduced to the MLS for the first time. So 10 of them introduced to the MLS for the first time in the last 12 months. Looking forward from there to the question of, okay, so what's actually selling? And you can see that cannibalization from the 2-bedrooms is happening even more starkly here. It began halfway between July and January 1st of last year. So let's say the fall of 2024. And if you jump over to average size, you can see that correlates very nicely with suddenly us choosing to build 2-bedroom homes that were essentially the same size as 3-bedroom homes. And since then, they've become indistinguishable in size. So the 2-bedrooms, which we, as just a reminder, we sell a little bit less. We sell on average about $350 per square foot a 2-bedroom versus $397, almost $400 a square foot for a 3-bedroom. Go figure, given the fact that the two homes are essentially the same size, people are choosing to buy the cheaper one. Maybe we are giving them an office space or something else that they could convert to a 3rd bedroom if they need it, or maybe they're just a empty nest couple that only needs the 2-bedroom, might have selected a 3-bedroom in the past, but with them being the same size, will take the better value. Outside of that, everything else looks pretty normal here. It's nice to see the 4-bedrooms holding nice and rock steady. Same with the 5-bedrooms. Interesting note in the size. Let's jump over there. So slowly but surely, our 5-bedrooms have been shrinking in size over the past year. Don't know why that would be, but we started, let's see, if we jump back to November of last year, we were about a 4,500, almost 4,600 square feet on average for a 5-bedroom in the county. We're now down to 42, so we lost 400 or 500 square feet in there somewhere. 5-bedrooms or 4-bedrooms have stayed rock solid as usual. Overall, we are building a slightly smaller home than we were at the beginning of the year. Notable in all of this, though, is the fact that while everything is slightly climbing, there are some that are doing better than others. So 5-bedrooms took a little bit of a hit earlier this year. They're really rebounding quite nicely. Our 4-bedrooms are kind of plateauing a little bit, right around 470, 480 a square foot. We are certainly seeing a premium when you go to a 6-bedroom home, on average 720. That's because, look, we put a lot of money into those. There's just a lot of really beautiful millwork, other odds and ends that give it a luxury feel. And so their additional price point isn't just because of square footage, it's also because the quality of the builds are nicer and you get a higher price per square foot from that. So jumping from there into our overall market performance, right? So we have sold over the past 12 months exactly 200 homes. The breakdown of how many sold for over their last list price 73 sold for over ask, 49 at ask, and 79 underneath. That is what we've done for sales. We've built 246, so there's still a little bit of inventory that hasn't sold. And again, we've listed and relisted and re-relisted a lot of those homes. So we've actually had 384 listings to generate those 200. So almost a 2-to-1 ratio of listings to sales generated. All right. I like seeing the build line very close to the sell line, right? We saw us starting to overproduce a little bit versus what was getting sold earlier this year. Now we're coming back down to earth, and I think that's healthy for the market. And then the last thing we'll talk about this month is yet again this concern. So if instead of looking at the last sale price, and how many sold over ask, if instead I look at the original sale price or the original list price, what builders were hoping to get for their builds, I am finding that we are still selling almost every single build, all but 11 of them over the last 12 months, sold for less than the original list price. So we have to somehow figure out how to reconcile that. This was not an issue back in 2024, but it's become steadily a bigger and bigger issue to the point where it's really difficult to get what a builder is intending to get for a design. And when you think about that in terms of the fact that that price point has probably set a lot of the purchase decisions about the home, what tile, what flooring, what kind of attributes we're going to put into a home. If you think you're going to get X and you can't get X, you're going to get X minus Y. That's not healthy for the industry overall. So better planning has to be put in up front to make sure that this number starts to separate, right? The sales versus the number that had to sell for less than original price, that we want to see those pretty far apart. All right, well, as usual, if you have any questions, if there's anything you want to talk about, if there's any additional slices of the data that you might find helpful, remember that I am here. Your mileage may vary on a lot of these things. If you're a builder in a specific town, the price points can be different than the overall county averages. So obviously, that's a conversation to have as well. Reach out. Let's grab a coffee. We'll sit down. Looking forward to talking.